Hey, welcome back, it's Ben again. Today we're taking a look at TensorFlow's object detection API and trying to detect objects in images and using our webcam. So if you're watching this video, there's a good chance you're coming from sentdex's YouTube tutorial series where he goes over how to do all this in a 6-part video tutorial. I personally watched his video since I've been working on a research project where I have to use object detection, but if you're like me, you might have noticed how it's kind of out of date and a lot of things don't work on the modern PC. So even if you're brand new at this and haven't watched his videos, we're going to be starting from the very beginning, and hopefully anybody should be able to follow through, and I'm going to be able to hopefully fix some things that you may be experiencing now. So to start, we're going to need to download the TensorFlow model directory repository off of GitHub. So to do that, we're just going to grab their link, and I'm going to open up my folder, my personal folder. It's going to be called models, so I already have a models folder in here from when I was working on this. Let's just rename this one real quick. Models 2, I don't know. Okay, cool. So let's do this. Let's open up a command prompt, and let's see. We're just going to use git clone, and we're going to clone it right into this directory. So we can see down here we have models and models 2. And this is going to be downloading. It might take a couple seconds. This is using Git. If you don't have Git, I recommend getting Git. That's going to be helpful. Otherwise, you can go to the website and you can click this big green button here, and you can just download the zip file just like that, and it's the same thing. But since I have Git, I'm just going to use that. Looks like we're still downloading it. So while we're waiting for that, I'll talk about the next part. I recommend using Anaconda. If you don't know what that is, it's a kind of command prompt you can use to create virtual environments, which is really helpful for keeping dependencies, packages, your projects all in one place, and it's helpful to just keep things organized. So I really recommend using that, as it's what I'm going to be using from now on. So to start, let's open up Anaconda. I'm not going to go over how to download and install Anaconda, but it's pretty straightforward. I also assume that you have a Anaconda and B Python installed, since it's going to be kind of obvious since TensorFlow is going to be running in Python. So we're going to start Anaconda in administrator mode. It looks like our models directory finished. Let's take a quick look at that. Models, so this should be everything you have in here. All right, so now we're in Anaconda. We're going to want to create a new virtual environment. To do that, we can just say conda create n for name, and then the name you want to name it. So let's just call this, naming things is hard, isn't it? Let's just call it object. I don't want to give it a long name. Let's just call it object. Okay, so it's going to go for a second. We're going to click yes. Not click. Okay, so now we've created it. So we're just going to say conda activate. Oops. I already forgot I called it object. That's what it... There we go. Okay, so now you can see over here we're in the object directory instead of base. So whenever you work on a project, you want to make sure you're in the right one. And I've done it countless times where I'm like, why isn't this thing working? It was working yesterday, and I realized I'm on the base or root, and I'm not in the virtual environment I set up. Because when you install packages, they're going to stay inside that virtual environment. So now that we're in object, there's going to be a few things we're going to need to install. I have a list, kind of a hand list of things we need to install, and kind of a tutorial I've been writing for myself. So we're going to need this big list of things right here. So actually, I'm just going to copy and paste it. I didn't even think about doing that. All right, let's just do that. So we're going to be installing TensorFlow 1.15. TensorFlow 2 does not work with object detection, unfortunately. I believe they're working on a new version for it to work, but right now we have to use version 1. So I'm just going to use 1.15. We need lxml, pillow, matplotlib, jupyter, context library 2, cython, and tf-slim. So this is download all of those at once, and it looks like, yeah, so for me, since I have some of these on my system already, all of these, you're going to see that requirements are already met. For you, it's probably going to take a few minutes. I'm trying to do this as much from scratch as possible, but I didn't want to have to uninstall all my libraries since it takes a while. So for you, it might just take a minute. So now what we want to do is we want to move into our correct directory, which is our models directory. So where do we have ours? Ours is in, oops, we're in users. Okay, so we need users, Ben, models, and then we're going to go into, oops, research. So now what we need is we need protoc. So we're going to go to this website here. Here we go. So we're going to need Protoc 3.4. There is a newer version now, but 3.4 is the last one that works correctly. Well, there might be versions in between that work correctly, but 3.4 is pretty much the sweet spot they just want to be in. So we're going to scroll down, and we're just going to get Protoc 3.4, Windows 32. So I already have it downloaded, so I'm just going to open up my downloads folder. Give me a second. Downloads. Okay, here we go. Make sure I'm actually recording. Okay, I'm recording. Sometimes I get scared of that. All right. Downloads. Okay. So we have Protoc here, and we can open that up. One more, I can stop. And what you can do, let me delete these old files from it so you can see how it looks. Delete, delete, delete. So we just want to extract it. Whoops. Extract it here. Here we go. And it'll probably put it down for a long time ago because zip folders are weird, but otherwise it'll be right next to it. So what we want, we don't need any other stuff. We just need bin, and we have our protoc.exe. So what we want to do with that, we want to open up our models, go into research, and we just want to drop it into here. That's going to make our life easier. So now that we have that, we're going to, okay, so we'll make sure we're in our research file. We're going to grab this command. This is going to compile our Protoc. Oops, I grabbed a little too much in there. All right, so if you get this warning line, that means you're good. If that didn't happen, that's not good. The best bet I have, a lot of people would get this error on Sentdex's video. The best way to fix this is to have it in the research folder that we're in right here. Originally, he says to put it somewhere else, but if you keep it in here, generally this problem gets fixed a little bit easier. So if you're getting that problem, make sure you're in the research folder. Yeah, and make sure you're actually in the directory research when you run it. Otherwise, you can use the C command and you can put the directory there, but it's easier if you just use research to begin with. So now, let me get my short list up here. Okay, so we're going to run this so that we can run it online and on our local PC at the same time, or not the same time, but either or. So what we need to do, make sure we're still inside of research. So we need to run python setup.py build. All right, that did not run. Why aren't you running? I might need to say Python 3. Py build. No? I think I might have built it earlier, so it might work still, but otherwise you should just say python setup.py build. Make sure I'm doing that right. Yeah, okay. I'm doubting myself here now. All right, so after that has built, say install, and is doing that. Why is it doing that? I'm going to go ahead and continue with this and make sure that that's actually going to work. I did just do this earlier on a different environment, different folder, so that might just be why, but I guess we'll continue and we'll just see what happens. So now we are going to get we need a pycocotools. That's what we need. So we can do pip install pycocotools, and let's see what it's going to say today. Okay, so it's already satisfied, so that's probably because I just downloaded it. But if yours does not work, which there's a good chance it won't, we want to run this command instead. The pip install, and then it's this GitHub directory, and what that does is downloads the wheel file that you need instead, because when you try to download pycocotools, it's supposed to get it from Cython, I believe, which we installed, but a lot of times it doesn't work correctly. So if it doesn't work for you, just do this one with the wheel file, so it downloads the wheel file you need and it does it automatically. I'll make sure to have this in the description. So next we want to open up, we're actually almost there. So we want to open up the we want to open up Jupyter, which is where we're going to see all of our programs. So we can just do Jupyter, not notebook, and we'll see what that says. Yeah, okay. So if this happens where you get an error, it's probably because Anaconda and Jupyter Notebook is a little funky. So instead, to fix that, you can say conda install Jupyter. And it might take a second. and we're going to say yes. And sometimes if a package or a certain pip doesn't work just using pip, try using conda, since conda will install it like into the base of the environment instead of just as like a Python package. So we're going to wait for this for a second, and then should be done in a moment. Let's clear this up. There we go. So now we should be able to say Jupyter Notebook. There we go. Okay. So let's see, we need to, I think I opened it when I was in the research file, or research folder, sorry. Yep, here it is, Average Detector. And we need collab tutorials. If you couldn't find it before, it's like if you had looked for it before following sentdex, it's because it's under collab tutorials now instead of just under object detection. So if you can't find it, to make sure it's object detection, collab tutorials. So once we're here, we just want to open up object detection tutorial. And from once we're here, we're pretty much at the end for this part. If we want to run it, we can press cell, and then we can click run all. Just want to check my notes, make sure I didn't miss anything on the way here. Okay. It's probably going to take a minute to run, which makes sense, I suppose. I'll decide if I want to cut this or not later. Well, while we wait for this, I suppose we can start looking at how to make this run on your local computer, which some tutorials do not go over. So, the tutorial, or since this is actually the tutorial from the API, so this is the newer version. The one that sentdex and other people use is generally like an older version. This one was recently updated. So, to use that old one, so I wanted to use this new one on the PC, but there are some parts where I'm getting errors for it, and I haven't been able to figure it out quite yet. So what I did is that I kind of edited the old version to make it work today in 2020. So what we can do, let's go into our folder. This is research. Let's go into object detection. So this is where most of the work will be happening. So I actually, on my own GitHub, since I wrote these things, these are the files that we're going to be using. If I can just, I never actually, I have these files on my computer. Let's just open them up on my computer. That sounds a lot easier. Yeah, so let's do this. Open in a new window. I gotta find them again. Ooh, when you put things all over the place, it's not great organization. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's models too. Research. The only problem with this, there's so many freaking directories you gotta go through. Object detection, and then here it is, updated old detected. So we're just gonna copy this. This is the same exact file from the GitHub, and it will be updated if it needs to change. But for now, it works fine. So I'm gonna use PyCharm to edit and run my scripts, since I just like how they also have a built-in virtual environment, and it's just easier to work with, in my opinion. So I'm just going to open it up with PyCharm. Before we do that, let's see if this finished running. No, this is taking a while today. Oh yeah, that's why it's building everything. Oh, it's going. Oh, yep, it's upset with us that we don't have pycocotools. So, it's going to make me restart. Okay, so I want to be able to show both versions of this. So what I'm going to do, connection failed. Oh yeah, okay. It's going to get mad at me for a second. So what we have to do is that thing I was actually talking about with the other version of pycocotools. Conda, what did I call it? Activate object, that's what I said. Object, okay. I got to get my command up here. Pip install, blah blah, GitHub. That's exactly what it says. Oh, whoops, I accidentally copied in the word needed. That's a great command, isn't it? Let's see how that works. Building wheels. Oh, we might be able to do the setup now. I'm wondering if now that build will work, because I was a little confused when it didn't work. But what I call it, models, whoops. now I'm interested in, oh my goodness, okay, setup.py build. Okay, there we go. See, so now it's working. I was confused about that before, how that wasn't doing anything. So now we can do setup.py install, and now everything should be happy. I was a little confused on that before. I think it's because it relies on pycocotools. So if you're wondering, Coco stands for common objects and common objects in context is what I believe it stands for. So that's like the default dataset model that you're going to see in a minute when we do all this. So now we can do, let me open up into object detection. So now we should be able to open up Jupyter Notebook again. Notebook. Sorry, this is a little all over the place, but you know, fixing my mistakes on the fly, as you do. Okay. So now we should be able to run this. So, run all. Maybe it'll actually be happier this time. Let's see, it's installing stuff. That might take a moment still. So we can go back to our other file. So I'm going to open up this file inside of the project, or as in project, it's more like the directory that's already within. Let me scooch this over. I'll zoom in. You can see a little better. It's always got scan packages and fix dependencies, and because like that's important. Yes, it is important. Install your dependencies. So, okay, so we're on updated old example. So I can compare, so this is my updated version, as you can see up here. There isn't too much difference between this and the original old version. So right here, the only difference is that before it was just plt show and then none of this afterwards. But since we're trying to run this on the local machine, matplotlib is not set up for a graphical display, so when you try to run it, it'll run, but then you won't get any results or output. So that's not very useful. So by doing this instead, we'll actually save the images that it detects on to a folder so that we can pull them up afterwards. Let's see if this is finished yet. Yeah, there we go. So now we can see on Jupyter Notebook. Wow, it worked. Fantastic. Some nice dogs right there. I wonder if this one feels inferior for being 1% less than this dog. All right, so this worked. So again, this is the newer tutorial version, but we're going to be going back a little bit to our version. So if everything goes correctly, this will work on the first try. I don't have much hope for because the nature of this thing, but this whole project has been the cultivation of hours of me looking up fixes around things, trying to get everything to work. Most of the fixes come into setting up your own custom model, which we will be going over to in another video tutorial if you guys are interested. That's a little bit more complicated, but it's a lot of fun. So let's see, this should almost be done running. Okay, oh, I forgot, yeah. So I put this to output into the folder outputs. So we can just add a new folder. I got too much stuff open. Object detection. We don't need this one, okay. So inside of your object detection folder, just create a new folder. It's called outputs. You can call it whatever you want as long as you change the script. I just called it outputs in here because why not? It's an output. I thought that made sense. So now we have that new folder. We should run this again, and it's probably going to take another minute because that's always useful. I hope I don't look like a liar to you guys, and it's just not going to work now. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm kind of nervous now because I'm like, on the spot. Okay. I should be finishing up. Okay, so finish with exit code. Let's go to output. There we go. So it's the same thing. So the percents will change every time because the machine is detecting it. So yeah, and this time this person wasn't even detected. Poor guy. So if you want to change what you're detecting, I believe we can just go to test images. And yeah, so these are the two raw images right in here. So if you really want to, you can put in other images in here, and you can detect those also. The only thing you have to look out for is this line up here. You just have to change the range. This just looks for how many pictures are in that directory. I believe you also have to rename them. Yeah. So this one's named image 1, image 2. So just make sure they're all named image 3, image 4. If you wanted to, if you use some like batch Google image downloader, something like that, just make sure the name is image 1, image 2. And the more pictures you have, the longer it's going to take. but also the size of the picture. If like the more pixels it has, the longer it has to go, which makes kind of obvious, I suppose. so this is what you need to do if you want to do it on your own PC. And again, I'll link my GitHub in the description, so you can just pull this file if you want. Again, it's not a big fix down here, and it's kind of janky, so if you want to make a pull request and fix it up yourself, that's fine by me. So now the big thing, using the webcam, because that's arguably a lot more interesting. So again, I have another script, and of course I closed out where I needed to have a, goodness, I had those two, messing everything up. I had those two scripts open. I always miss that tab. Am I actually in the right one? Yes, okay. So, what did I call it? Webcam detection. That makes sense. So we're going to pop it into our new directory over here. And now I got to move down here. Research, object detection, webcam detection. All right, we'll see if it's going to be happy with us. Since sometimes you'll get these details where it's unresolved reference. And usually you can fix that if you set the root source of your project. So at least for me in PyCharm, if you go up here in the corner, it might be kind of hard to see, but I'm on models, which is the top directory. And then you can do mark directory as sources root. And sometimes that can help. Doesn't always, but I guess we'll see what happens. I don't believe I edited this file. This file was good. Again, this is straight from sentdex. His edits on that, I really recommend watching his video series if you want to also. Again, this is kind of the more updated version. So let's run it. Hi, sorry, Future Ben here. Sorry to interrupt. I'm stupid. I forgot to tell you about another really important part that I forgot to tell you about. So right here we have import CV2. So CV2 is computer vision 2. I forgot to mention it because since I have other dependencies on my computer already, it doesn't light up red, which it normally would for you if you haven't done this before. So computer vision 2 is another package we have to install, but we can't just say pip install CV2 because nothing is that easy in life. Don't blame me. I don't know. So what we have to do instead is we have to install a wheel file. So what we can do, like we gotta pull up here. I have the website right here. I'll also link this below. Here we go. So this is a list of packages, official packages for Python. So what we need is, where is it? So you need to get one of these OpenCV packages. So you have to get the one that matches your Python version and the bit version. So I'm using Python 3.7 64-bit. So that would be, where is it? 3.7, right here. So this would be this package I need right here. And I think I already have it downloaded, but we'll see in a moment. Okay, I used to have it downloaded. Let me make sure I'm on the right thing here. Here's the save. We're going to open up the file location, show in the folder. I want to make sure the other ones I have are not the same thing. Okay. So now that you have the matching version, we can just say, go up into your command prompt again. So we need to go into downloads or wherever you downloaded it to. So that's going to be users ben, downloads. So now we can say pip install. And then we can say OpenCV. If you tab, it should find the file you're talking about. Which one did I just get? I want to make sure I'm using the one I just told you about, otherwise I'll feel like a liar. Alright, so this should be the correct one right here. Not support, okay, so maybe I do need 3.6. I don't remember what version of Python I'm on. I know, I am just super helpful today. Pip install. Come on. Am I using 3.6? No. I have too many packages on here. Let's just do it on here because this should be 3.7. So probably have to zoom out for a second. Yeah, I realized I'm really mad about this. I had zoomed in my oops, sorry, you're gonna freak out for a second. My screen for my other tutorials, and I forgot to freaking change it for this thing, so I'm sorry about that it's all zoomed in. Really just grinds my gears, whatever you say. We need to activate Object. That's what I always forget. It's going to tell me what version of Python I'm in. Oh, I'm on 3.8. That's why. Okay. Ooh, okay. So if we're in this, though, I might need to change my... Well, we can try it with 8.3. So this is where it's open to... Oh, because I brought the contribute file. Okay. I gotta apologize again. I'm just forgetting what files I'm using all over the place. This would help if it... Okay. Open CV. I don't want the contribute version. Okay, so it's still not that version. Oh, gosh. It must be... There we go. Okay. Finally, it took so long. So I was on 3.8, sorry. So you can tell what version of Python it is by the CP38 right there. That means 3.8. So that's what I'm running. I believed I was on 3.7, but I must have changed it at some point. So once you do that, you should have it up here, and everything should work fine, and CV2 should be in there. Okay, sorry about that. Back to past me, which is present me, which is my... Bye. So the webcam I have on my computer is not great, so I don't use it for actual videos like this, because it sucks. So I pretty much just use it only for object detection, which doesn't help with my research project because it's not very high resolution and it kind of messes things up. So you'll see in a second, though. There I am, yay! So now there should be two of me, probably. So you see, I'm a person, amazing! So, you can test it with multiple things. I normally use my phone to test it, but my phone is right here. So if I move over, you can probably see, yeah, here's my chair. You can see all my Legos and all the Legos on my shelf, because I like Legos, if you couldn't tell. I always turn around the wrong way. Sometimes it gets your bed. Yep, there's the bed. So you can play around with this all you want to. I'm trying to think of other things I could hold up. Sometimes it's, yeah, it thinks my water bottle is a skateboard, and I was like, for the longest time, I was like, why do you think it's a skateboard? I'm like, all the stickers on it. They must have used images that had lots of stickers on it. So, there we go. That's the webcam setup. It was pretty easy, if you ask me. Again, this file should work automatically if everything if everything you set up correctly. Again, let's hope you set it up correctly. So basically, if you just follow the files directory, so you have models, research, auto detection, and then you have all the files in there, it should work correctly. If you're getting errors that say object detection is not, what do they call? They call it over here like unresolved references. So if object detection is an unresolved reference, try to set your project directory or the project like base to a higher root. I guess you could call it a higher folder. So if I was running this inside of the object detection, so say there was nothing above object detection, that's all it could see, a lot of the times you'll get that error. So make sure that you set it up as high as you can. Sometimes you just have to create a new file somewhere else on the higher one and then just say open in file or open in project, and then you can create that or fix that problem. So recommend that. That was a big problem for me too for a while. If you get the error no module name tfslim, just do, oh, this still has the TensorFlow or the Jupyter notebook. Close that real quick. So another couple fixes we can do. If you get, open, okay. Yeah, so if you get a problem that says no module name tfslim, we can fix that. We actually already did it, but sometimes people will miss it. What am I doing? Activate. What's the word I'm looking for? Okay, activate. So you have to do pip install, tfslim, and well, it would help if I could spell correctly. There we go. Okay, so yeah, I already have it installed. But I believe in the original video tutorial that sentdex does, he does not use tfslim. So that could be something that you missed. That was a big problem for people. So other than that, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you found this useful. I wish I had a video like this when I was first trying to do this. Hopefully I will be doing another video about training your own custom model. So I've been doing that with Lego bricks because I wanted to try it out to see if I could do it myself. For my research project, we needed to detect game pieces on a game board. So just to make sure I could do it right, I just did it with Legos, which is something simple and something I have plentiful of. So hope to see you again next time. If you can, leave a like, subscribe. I like to do this type of content, and I hope to do more. Other than that, I'll see you next time.